Welcome back, YouTube, to another exciting day of my life. It's Saturday, December 2nd, 2023, 4:13 p.m. I really wanted to get out of my apartment earlier than this, but I spent quite a bit more time dinking around online and also editing the last segment of my vlog that I just posted, which was from October 3rd. So I'm one day away from being a full 2 months behind on posting it again.
We kick off the show today with Sublime with Rome with the Sirens. Then we heard from Meg with Think I'm in Love. Then Beach Weather with Unlovable. Followed by Tears for Fears with Mad World. Later on the tower we'll hear from Phoenix. We'll hear from Weezer as well as others. We're going to continue right now though with The Sleeping and Young Vibes. Then we'll hear from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs with Bold. And then Gary Newman with Car.
I still have another video to edit from October 3rd, and I've got a lot on my plate today, so I highly doubt I'm going to have the time to sit down and edit that one as I need to and get it posted. So probably going to be posting my last video from October 3rd on December 3rd, and I haven't even looked ahead to see how many videos are going to come from October 4th, which has me thinking, should I be trying to do better quality, or should I be trying to spit it out, or should I be just not documenting as much? I don't know. I'm just playing this by ear every day. And the reality is I've just got so much happening lately, and I'm working a lot, which doesn't leave a lot of time for editing videos, but some of the stuff that's going on, I just really feel the need to video it, just so I can, if for no other reason, look back and see, well, you know, what the hell happened to me at that time, and have a clear record of what I've done or not done. So right now I'm headed to PLS to get a money order so I can pay my storage rent, which is not a very smart move because I don't have any cash on me, so how the hell am I going to get a money order? Yeah, some days I'm just not thinking as clearly as I should. So it's been cool enough lately, I've actually had the heat on in my car, and I think I'm suddenly realizing one of the problems that I've had with keeping the car cool in the summertime and keeping my engine cool in the summertime. Now that I've got the heat turned on, I can definitely smell that there's coolant. I can definitely smell coolant in the warm air that's coming out of my vents. And I've had more than my share. Oh, look at that gorgeous old car straight ahead. I have no idea exactly what that was, but it's exciting to see something like that on the road. So as I was saying, I've had more than my share of old beaters and very high mileage cars, and I know the things that will start to break on a car that's kept and driven longer than most people keep and drive cars, and the signs of those things. And when I'm smelling coolant in my heater vents, what that means is that I have a leak of some kind in my, I believe it's called a heater core. And it's a thing that looks like a little radiator that's inside the climate control system that air blows through to generate heat in the car, in a gas-powered car. That is a really difficult thing to fix and replace. And I got to take a step back and realize, is this something I want to task Rob with? Do I really want to spend that money on this car? Is this something I maybe want to try to do myself? Rob still has 2 of my CRXs, one of which is not too terribly far from being running. And until it gets hot again, smelling a little bit of coolant in my heater vents is just a minor irritant. So this might be a time to try to get ahead and maybe get my silver CRX done. and drive them, so I can get this car off the road, and then when this car is off the road, work on that kind of repair. Because I really don't want to get rid of this Saturn. I really like this Saturn a lot, in spite of all its issues. And there's something special to me about driving a make of car that doesn't even exist anymore, and at this point hasn't existed for a fairly long time. Well, there's a line for the drive-up ATM, so I'm going to go use the walk-up ATM. I much prefer those anyway. I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but the ATM that used to be inside the vestibule, it's now completely been removed. It's just not even there anymore. And as you can see, the bank lobby's not even open anymore. I can see the hours from here on the door just barely. Looks like on Saturdays they're only open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yeah, I wasn't even near ready to leave my bed at 1 p.m. So that's fine. I should have no problem withdrawing the amount of money I need from the ATM. So I forget exactly how much I need for my storage rent, and rather than look it up before making the withdrawal, I just withdrew quite a bit more money than I need. So I know I got to pay my rent on my apartment as well, which I'm not going to do that today, but I'll probably handle that on Monday. I don't see me having time for anything tomorrow other than going to sleep, getting up, going to work, coming home, going to sleep. But I'm going to have a little bit of time in the line over at PLS, and I can look up how much my storage rent money order needs to be while I'm there, and yeah, get that handled there. So as far as what I have planned for the rest of the day, as I anticipated I might be able to, I did manage to pick up a shift for Factor tonight through WorkWhile. It was off of the app yesterday when I checked, which was right after I accepted the shift for Friday night, which, by the way, I got a $28 bonus on, so that's awesome. Plus, I should be getting a $50 bonus for Priscilla working her first shift. She'll also get a $50 bonus. So us going there together. Did I get any adult playtime after work or before work? No, I did not. But, which of course is why this video started from my place as opposed to near her place. But I did get $50, and she got $50, so that's $100 between the two of us. So that's a nice bonus. I'm not seeing it on the list of payments that are coming soon, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on that stuff on WorkWhile. Speaking of keeping an eye on stuff on WorkWhile, there were a bunch of people yesterday at Factor talking about how there was a thing where if you complete so many Factor shifts, you get an additional bonus. Now, I remember them putting that in the WorkWhile app when they first started getting HelloFresh shifts a little over 2 months ago. And of course, I didn't have enough free time to get anywhere near the amount of shifts needed to get that bonus. But I'm kind of concerned now that other people are talking about this program and it's not even showing up in my app. So I don't know if I'm just being denied it because I just simply haven't taken enough shifts, or I don't routinely take enough shifts. I do want to ask Carnell about it. Carnell, the WorkWhile rep, when I go in tonight. So as I was saying, yeah, when I took my shift yesterday, when I accepted it on the app, and as I said, I had to go through this old onboarding quiz, and I'm supposed to watch a 25-minute video, which I watched maybe 2 minutes of, but yeah, when I did that, afterwards I clicked to see available jobs and was shocked to see Saturday was no longer available. Well, when I woke up today, afternoon, probably noon 30-ish, that was the first thing I did, was I checked to see what was available on WorkWhile, and there it was. Sunday night fulfillment, 7 p.m. to 5:30 a.m., the shift I like to work. There's no bonuses on it, but yeah, I grabbed that, and I would assume that became available because somebody who had already accepted it canceled on it. And I did notice right after I accepted it, when I went to look at available jobs, it was no longer listed as an available job. So now, is it not showing it to me as an available job because I already accepted it, or because I took it and there was only one slot available? I really don't know enough about the work, what I'll have to say. Well, there was quite a bit of a line inside PLS, which was kind of to be expected this close to the first of the month. A woman had helped me had a costume on similar to that woman I just passed on the left, which seemed kind of odd to me because everybody else was wearing sort of a work uniform that consisted of a PLS shirt, like a, I forget what you would call that kind of shirt, like a, you know, a collared shirt with a couple of buttons in the front that don't go all the way down, and the PLS logo on it, except for her. She was wearing, you know, that Halloween costume. I mean, I understand it's sort of a religious thing, and people are supposed to have their freedom of religion, but it seems inappropriate to make allowances for some people's religions regarding what they wear at work, but not other people's religions. And if your religion involves wearing some kind of a Halloween costume that is different from what the work uniform is of the job, probably you shouldn't be working that job. And speaking of which, doesn't that religion prohibit women from working outside the home anyway? I don't know. I'm not a moose lamb. I'm neither a moose nor a lamb. So anyway, moving on. Trying to get over to U-Store. What the hell time is it? There's what I should be checking. 4:40. Provided that van isn't shutting down early or hours on Saturday end earlier, which is possible. I should have 20 minutes. And then on top of that, I should have a couple hours that I can spend actually working on cleaning out my car and getting any recycling and other items out of my car that would be better placed in storage. I do have that key ring on me. I'm not sure if I mentioned it recently. I do know I mentioned that I had misplaced it again, but I found it. It was on my desk near where I put my blades and my paint pens on the days I'm not working at the rental car center. I did not make that left arrow. Dang it. Okay, I seem to be one of the few drivers who still remembers how to pull into an intersection when making a left turn, so I can quickly make one when there's a break in traffic. Car behind me didn't go. There was certainly enough of a break in traffic. Oh, we went now. He just now got around the corner. Yeah, he should have been right behind me making that left turn. It's more than enough break. A lot of younger drivers just really don't know how to make a left-hand turn without a green arrow. And it's sad. Last night at Factor was fun. Priscilla and I did not end up working together, and I'm honestly a little relieved about that. I was actually in the same position that I was in pretty much all of last Friday and a good portion of last Saturday, and that was putting in liners in the boxes on line 5. I'm really good at doing that. It's mindless work, but it's comfortable work, and I got more settled into it than ever yesterday. I think I mentioned that I found a watch, and I was going to hold it up to the camera so y'all can see it, but it's actually inside my hoodie in my backpack. in the pocket with my work gloves I use for HelloFresh. At this point, that's the purpose of that watch. It has a broken watch band which stops it from being worn, and while I could put another band on it, I question if another band would look good on it. The band is integral to the design of the watch. It's very much a woman's watch, but the band as it is, as it's broken, if I'm anywhere on a HelloFresh line, most anywhere, I can sort of attach it to cables or one of the metal bars that goes across in the fulfillment line. Doing liners, I just kind of wrapped it around a bunch of bundled up cables going to the little computer that controls, computer module, whatever the hell it is, that controls all the little buttons and barcode scanners along the fulfillment line. It's got such a small face, I do gotta have to put my face up by it to read it. And of course, the running joke with me and the other older millennials and Gen X's that were working near me was that, yeah, I'd be useless to anybody Gen Z because they probably wouldn't know how to read that clock. But yeah, I was able to keep tabs on what time it is, and that's something that tends to drive people nuts in there. It's like, shit, what time is it? What time is it? So we know how close we are to our breaks, so we know how close we are to getting off at 5:30 in the morning. Not that I change my work behavior because of that, it's just nice to know what time it is. The only other way to really know that, I mean, there are some screens you can walk to and see the time, but they're kind of few and far between. And that involves walking off the line. Not a good thing when you're trying to stay productive. The only other way to do that, to know and find out what time it is, because I do believe their policy doesn't allow for wearing a watch, is to pull your cell phone out of your pocket and look at what time it is, which is something their policy doesn't allow for either. Now granted, there are a handful of people I saw routinely pulling their cell phones out of their pockets. It's just something that's going to happen. You can't break people that are under 40 of doing that. You just can't. They just don't understand the concept that that is an inappropriate behavior in a food preparation or food production work environment. Shit, I can't get my Gen Z night supervisor, Anthony, at MLS to understand that the reason I don't text him back quickly when he texts me or answer his calls is because as a driver and somebody who's walking a lot where I have to be very aware of cars moving around me that might not be watching out for me as good as they should be, I'm not looking at my phone. My phone is in my pocket, and most of the time when my phone is in my pocket, I can't hear it ring. It's not loud enough for me to be able to hear it. He still doesn't get that. And it's really funny because it wasn't that many months ago that he pulled me into the office for what I was doing for, I think they called it a safety circle, where we discussed and looked at papers of what all the policies were, the safety policies for MLS. I think this was brought on when a new person backed into one of those cement poles in the parking garage and messed up the back end of a car. Didn't see it. How the fuck did you not see that? Yeah, we read through all those rules and then had to complete a test. And one of those rules is that we're not supposed to be using our phones while walking on the lot or while driving cars. The only time that I ever really am looking at my phone, other than really briefly right at the beginning, right before I start driving or right after I stop driving, is if I'm riding in a shack with somebody. Other than that, like if I'm working by myself, I might go an hour or more without as much as glancing at my phone. I don't even need to look at to see what time it is because almost every car has got a clock in it. In fact, about the only time that I look at the phone to see what time it is when I look at the clock in the car and I think to myself, that doesn't seem right. And I'll check the clock on my phone and then set the dashboard clock, as long as it's one that's not too convoluted and difficult to set. I'm almost to U Store, 1:45 on the Saturn clock, which means it's about 1:50. So I believe 10 minutes before they close, although it's possible they have shorter Saturday hours. I'm not sure, but I'm about to find out. The sign says open. That's a good sign. You see what I did there?